gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for June 2nd, 2023. For the next hour or so, let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game Mess Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, Nintendo is releasing an unexpected sequel, and MetaQuest 3 is launching this fall. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host to Game Mess Mornings. It's Tamor Hussein, everybody. Tam, how are you doing?
You know, I've told people this before, and I'm sure you know, I'm an American lactose intolerant. Which means I'm only lactose intolerant when I'm in America.
Sure, yeah, we got that. We got that real messed up cheese.
You guys have the funkiest cheeses.
That's right. I'm proud of it.
And yesterday I went to the cinema, the theater.
Okay.
And I watched Across the Spider-Verse, which is a fantastic film.
I love to hear that.
Absolutely incredible.
Very excited to hear that.
And I went to an AMC. You know.
Yeah.
American Movie Center. Is that what it's called? I don't know.
It is now.
I don't know.
I never asked.
And I ordered nachos. And let me tell you, I have many things about America are disappointing. But near the top now is the nachos that I ordered at an American movie center.
Yeah. It is below like a sporting event nachos for sure. It's like way down there.
Like I was expecting them to like give me like, you know, chips and then put like salsa and jalapenos and cheese on the side.
It's just the cheese sauce, right?
It's cheese sauce, which is dog shit.
Oh yeah, of course.
Made my tummy grumble. And then the nachos themselves were just a sealed box of what they're called
Fritos? Not even wait, is it Tostitos or Fritos?
Tostitos.
Okay,
Tostitos.
Okay. Okay, that's a little bit more acceptable, but still, of course.
Absolutely unacceptable. Like I was like so mad. But I'm being British. I obviously didn't say anything. But like,
of course.
Next time I'm there, I'm gonna be like, do you have nachos that aren't fucking Tostitos in a sealed box with some absolutely bollocks cheese? How do they get away with that? This is America. You guys invented being fat, and eating the worst food. You guys that's your contribution to the world.
Right.
Being fat and awful food. And
I think that's right.
The cinema is where you get fat and eat awful food, and they biffed it.
It's the church of getting fat and eating awful food.
That's it.
Absolutely.
The only good thing now you have is invading people. What's going on?
Still number one in that category, baby. Here we go. 100 years in a row. Yeah, I mean, listen, we make do with what we have, and someone in a movie theater goes, you know what would rule? Like, if we had nachos, and then someone looks around like, I can make nachos with this, and then some intrepid young person's like, well, I got a bag of Tostitos, and we got that nacho cheese that we throw on stuff from that goop container over there, and then they go, and no one stops to say, should we be doing this? Never.
So here's the thing, right? Like, I immediately looked at these nachos, and the actual chips are circular. Like, surely that's a red flag.
Yeah,
like, I very rarely will order nachos and have circular chips appear. It's always triangles, right? So I looked at it and I was like, this is an affront to, like, is this surely this is like contravening the Declaration of Independence in some fashion.
Yeah, it's a violation of international treaties that we have, absolutely.
Yeah, and I was like, this is unacceptable. I feel like, and the nachos, the cheese, the whatever the hell that is, the dipping one, it's AMC branded. Like the cheese
from official AMC cheese vats.
It's like AMC cheese vats. So where that shit comes from. Like if you Google it, I'm sure you can find a picture of it. But like the little packet that cheese comes in, it's got like AMC on it, and I'm like, and it says real cheese, and I'm like, are you fucking what? No,
cheese is such a broad like potential, especially in America. Our definition of real cheese is probably real messed up. Hot food at movie theater, unless it's like a dine-in, like an Alamo Draft House or one of those ones that has a kitchen that does that stuff. Yeah. These days, it's a pretty bad idea because they are cutting costs everywhere. I mean, I think maybe like 20 years ago, if you would have ordered nachos at an AMC, it would have been a much better experience. And now they're like, here is an adult Lunchable, basically. Try not to die.
It's weird because I remember coming to this exact AMC many years ago when I first came to San Francisco to visit for a GameSpot event for E3, my first E3, and as part of that we had like a team movie experience where we all went to the movies, and I remember people getting nachos, and they were the nachos that you imagine, like the triangular chips with a crazy amount of like salsa and jalapenos, and they didn't even ask me if I want jalapenos. My interest in nachos is the jalapenos.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm a salsa and jalapeno person over the cheese. Just didn't ask me. They was like, hey, this is bollocks. Enjoy it. I was like, I am an AMC A-lister. This is how you treat your A-listers?
That's exactly how they treat their A-listers. Yes.
Disgusting.
Well, the answer to that question is yes. Do they even have like a bucket of jalapenos like at the gas station where like you're gonna get a hot dog and they got a little scoop of jalapeno you can go get? Do they have that?
I was looking around. I could not see a single Pinot, let alone a jalapeno.
Again, America, enough people have probably been like, can I get it without the jalapenos? That's so that they're just like, we're not even going to fucking do that anymore. What is the bare minimum we can get away and still call these things nachos? I think they found the rock bottom based on what you described.
Absolutely awful. If you are a representative of AMC, I want to register my official disappointment, and I would like my money back for this movie.
That seems
Except the movie was absolutely incredible.
Seems only fair. That seems only fair.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch that movie. I'm going to try to find time this weekend. We'll see. In between loads of laundry, I guess.
You should. It's oh my God.
I love Spider-Verse, so I'm like, I got to see this one. I'm very happy to hear that you liked it. That is very reassuring, because it's like you never know.
I forgot that they have split it into 2 parts. So
yeah, that I just read that. I never realized that. And they're like, it's important to remember this is part 1. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's
so
whatever.
I got to the end, I was like, no.
Okay. All right. Well, still, gotta see it. All right. Let's get into this mess. Before we do, let's explain what we do here. Most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you were watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings, or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Okay, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with Everybody 1-2 Switch announced for Nintendo Switch. This comes from Haley Williams at GameSpot. Nintendo Switch launch title 1-2 Switch is getting a sequel titled Everybody 1-2 Switch. The new minigame collection adds the potential for players to use their smartphones or tablets to play, as well as Joy-Con controllers. Everybody 1-2 Switch will launch on June 30th for the Switch. Tam, this is $30. This is unexpected in that no one was asking for it, but we did get that report from Imran last year, Imran Khan, about how they had this game pretty much done. They had playtesters come in and try it, and they were miserably bored by it. The problem being that it's like kind of set up so a bunch of people can play at once, and then people get eliminated over rounds, and those rounds start to repeat, or people like hang on and keep playing for a really long time, and you're doing the same mini game things over and over. And the second time around, it's way less fun than the first time when it's like surprising and new. And so people were just super bored by it. $30. You think that this is them just like throwing it out there, trying to get it off their books?
Yes, 100%, 1,000,000%. That is what they're doing. They're like, this is ready. No one is gonna like this. Let's just get it out of off our shelf of games that we complete and then just leave there. And it's kind of disappointing because Nintendo has a legacy of making these kind of games and doing them better than everyone else did. Everyone was making these like party games for families, and they were really phoning it in. Where it was like,
yes, that's true.
There's freaks out there that are going to buy these things regardless. So let's just put bare minimum effort into it and just get it out there. Whereas Nintendo always made something that was interesting. We Play even was like a game that had a lot of fun stuff in there, and that was like probably the crappiest of them all. But even then, head and shoulders above most of the other ones. It's sad to see that we're at a point now where even Nintendo is like, who cares, man? Let's just fire this one out and move on. It's sad. Also, like the box art, I don't know what is going on there. That horse.
Yeah, let me see if I can get a picture of this.
If you go to Amazon.com, if you hit up Jeff Bezos' website and type in horse mask, the horse mask featured on that box art is the Amazon Choice recommended a horse mask. I saw it and I was like, I know that horse mask. I've seen that.
I've seen that. I've seen that many times before.
Events. I've seen that everywhere.
Usually in my diary.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on like Nintendo has done a good job of these in the past. I think about that WarioWare smooth moves that we played at the Bombathon, being like, that was so much fun and that's different. Just do one of those. And it's like, don't try to, I don't know, shoehorn 1-2 switch into this Jackbox kind of thing. It's like, you're not going to be able to make this be anywhere near as fun as Jackbox, I don't think.
It's absolutely bizarre because, like, do they think that 1-2 switch has like brand weight or brand name recognition? Because Mr. Nintendo, let me assure you, it does not. Like, what are you doing? And like, we know Nintendo for being the company that'll be like, is this shit? It is? Kill that. Kill it. Do not put it out there. We have got a rep to maintain. But for some reason, they're like, this sucks. Let's get it out there, baby.
Yeah, it's again, like this is the kind of thing where you expect other companies to maybe fire it out, but Nintendo has in the past, like you said, just cut it and moved on. I don't know. This is like a little bit of the Red Steel effect, I think, where this is a game that kind of, it was like one of a few games available at the launch of the Switch, so everybody bought it. Not really everybody bought it, but enough people bought it that it looks like a good seller. And I think Nintendo not being able to tell the difference between people just kind of being desperate for games and an actual game that people care about, that's a little worrisome, a little bit. But I guess maybe they did come to that realization, and that's why they came to it too late. They already had made the game, and the game wasn't fun, and it's like, well, it's not really worth making a big deal about it. I guess just put it out there, whatever. I'm a little surprised they didn't put it in Nintendo Switch Online. Just do that.
Yeah, I think they also, I mean, Red Steel is a good example, but Red Steel 2 was actually pretty decent.
Pretty good.
Quite good.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. And 1-2 Switch 2 sounds like it's not a good game. I think it also might be a case of, like, weirdly, we've reached, if you think about it, a stage now where Nintendo, the company who is perhaps more than any other known for being casual gamer friendly, no longer services that audience in a way that's visible, right? Like, what is the last very casual Nintendo experience that you can think of? Like, I can't think of much. When in the Wii days they had like Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resorts, Wii Fit, all these kind of other, and then the third parties were like pulling out, all the kind of like shitty casual friendly titles. Outside of, like, I think we Switch Sports or whatever, which was a while ago again, Nintendo isn't really servicing a massive demographic that they've kind of become known for courting and kind of maintaining and servicing. Now they just weirdly are just servicing the gamers, which this feels like it's an attempt to be like, hey, we still care about you, grandma.
Yeah, I mean, the people playing Nintendo Switch Sports, but that, like, that was Wii Sports again. So it's, like, what is the new thing that they've done? I think you're right, though. I think overall their strategy is, let's have gamers come, or have people come to us. We will be the family friendly, the casual friendly one, but by virtue of being bright and colorful and easy to play in front of a family. And our games are going to be more complicated, but the audiences have shown that they're more willing to learn more complicated games since stuff like Roblox and Fortnite that have all these, bespoke and complicated controls. So I think that's mostly the right move, because the Wii was so hard to turn into a software success, and getting that audience to care about more than one game was very difficult. So it's, I think they found a balance, but you're right. This feels like a vestige of that old era of, this is something we used to do all the time, so we should always have more of these. And it's like, they've always been hit and miss, though, I think, because maybe more hit than miss. But I guess recently I'm thinking of like Labo. I think that was mostly a miss, right?
Labo.
Yeah.
I mean, like, also, like, maybe people, maybe those people aren't as discerning as we are. Like, we play this game and we're like, this is shit. But, like, grandma just needs a good, hard servicing, to make sure that she's feeling good.
Yeah. Okay.
And maybe someone at Nintendo was like, dust off your bits. Like, let's service grandma.
Yep.
And this is it. 1-2 switch.
That's
boom.
How everybody's switching. Absolutely. That's,
out, done.
1-2, 1-2. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Tam, for that graphic explanation of Nintendo's strategy. This is what we come to you for. Absolutely. Meanwhile, Nintendo is releasing beautiful new pastel Joy-Cons. This comes from Lou Plunkett at Kotaku. We're long enough into the Nintendo Switch's lifespan to have seen a lot of different colors for the console's controllers, but these new ones just announced by the company may be the nicest yet if you're into soft pastels. Hey, Tam, are you into soft pastels?
You know what? I am so glad that Nintendo finally is giving soft pastel fans a good servicing.
Right. Soft pastels get me rock hard for a servicing. Absolutely. I think they're cute. I like them. I like pastels. I think this is good. Although you would think that they thought it's like springtime and Easter still. I guess it is still spring, but Easter's way behind us, like the time of like when you see pastels everywhere. And Nintendo's like, whatever. Well, Easter happens on our time. We're goddamn Nintendo. Yeah, these things.
Yeah, I'm actually I don't really. So I've not bought a Joy-Con in a long time.
Sure.
Weirdly, I only get new Joy-Cons when I get entirely new Switch consoles. It's like, currently, I'm using my yellow Joy-Cons, which came with the yellow. I mean, when they released the yellow, the neon yellow Switch.
Right.
But I did have the white Joy-Cons that were part of the OLED.
That's what I
can
was using
no
for a while.
longer use them because they are signed by Shigeru Miyamoto. So I cannot put my hands on them. So I'm using the yellow ones now.
What would happen if you used them? It would probably smear like within seconds.
It would smear.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me grab it.
Okay. Very excited. Yeah.
I've not seen it since I actually put it away. So hopefully it hasn't like disintegrated while in there. Nope, it's doing good. It's fine.
Oh, look at that.
Can you see it? You can't see it.
Yeah, no, now it's coming in. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Though.
Man, that's cool.
Focus, damn it. It's not working. It's got Miyamoto's signature on it.
I also kind of just buy Joy-Cons with my new Switch. Actually what I do is the other day I was playing with the Hori mini ones, not the Split Pad Pro, but like the Split Pad Pro like light version. And I thought I was getting drift. And so a second later, I am on the internet and I bought replacements and I got the Nixie ones that people have been recommending that are kind of like the Split Pad Pro.
Nixie?
And, NYXI. They did that GameCube split pad kind of thing that everyone was going wild for a little bit ago. I got that as well. Turns out having buttons in the different places is a little bit annoying, so I don't actually use it all that often. But I was just like, I'll buy it right away and it'll get here tomorrow. And then, of course, I just took the Joy-Con off, put it back on, and it started working again. So now I have spares.
One of these looks like an OnLive controller, which is very unsettling.
Yeah, that is maybe the most offensive thing you could have said about that. You just really tore that thing to shreds in 1 second.
I'm sorry, Nixie.
Split Pad Compact. Thank you, Turbo Sean. That's what it's called. I like those a lot. They're pretty comfortable. All right, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth development is progressing smoothly and according to plan. This is from Sal Romano at Gamatsu. Go back to the other screen real quick. Development on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is, quote, progressing smoothly and according to plan, according to producer Yoshinori Kitase. In a new developer comment posted on the game's official Twitter account, development is pretty, blah, blah, blah. We are currently working on nailing down a release date for the game, is what they said. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, this is back to Gamatsu, says, is due out for PlayStation 5 in winter 2023. Now, they've never said that. Tam, they've never said winter 2023. What they did say, I got it over here somewhere.
Wait, did Square Enix say that, or did Gamatsu say that?
Gamatsu said winter 2023. What? I don't have it. I had a video somewhere. What they did say was next winter, and they said that last year when they said this winter for Final Fantasy. Which was the 7, the PSP game that got remade.
Oh yeah, Crisis Core.
Yeah, that one they said this winter, and that came out in December of 2022. And then they said next winter for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, I think most people think that they don't actually mean winter 2023. They think it'll come out early next year. What do you think this winter means? And especially in light of him saying we are trying to nail down a release date for the game.
I mean, so just to be clear, no one at Square Enix said winter 2023.
No, they said next winter, and they said that last year. Those are their exact words. Okay. Next winter.
Okay. I mean, I understand why Gamatsu wrote winter 2023. Yeah,
because whatchamacallit did come out in winter 2022 when they said this winter.
Exactly,
so it's like
exactly.
I completely get it.
It's weird, because them saying we're trying to nail down a release date also makes sense because winter 2023 is a very nebulous period. So they could be 100% telling the truth and being like, we're trying to figure out what day in winter is it's going to be ready. I think that I could see it happening, but also it feels very soon. You know
Yes,
what I
it
mean?
does.
Like maybe it's because time is a meaningless concept at this point. But like I feel like Final Fantasy VII Remake was fairly recent in the grand scheme of things for a game like that. I mean, they've got all the fundamentals in place, right? Like they've got a lot of the hard work done for creating a follow-up to that game. But still, content-wise, it still is probably like quite significant. And I don't know if the time that they have had is enough for it. I could see it coming out I could both see it coming out winter, or more likely it comes out like early next year. I also think like early next year is a better time period for that game. I just don't know. Winter right this year feels like it could be dead city, but also it could be like completely packed. I don't know do we know how many or what else is coming around this year? Like the end post July feels like very
October's starting to get a little filled up. That's like Assassin's Creed Mirage. There's a couple other things. There's going to be that Call of Duty at some point. Beyond that though, like stuff that would be for sure November, December, we don't know. Now, I mean, a lot of people in chat are pointing out, and please, I'm the most pedantic person on earth about this. Please, I know that winter's December 21st through March 21st or whatever. March 20th.
You don't think we know when winter is?
Yeah, you do.
You don't think that people who have been reading financial reports all our lives don't know what that is? You don't think that we know how to service a calendar?
You don't think we know how to service grandmas?
Gregorian? Damn, grow up.
But very frequently with these Japanese companies, when they say winter, they do mean December of the year that they're in. That happened multiple times, not just Square Enix, but very frequently with Square Enix. Nintendo's done that. A lot of these companies have done that. And that's how they use the term winter, I believe, a lot of the time. They do have that wiggle room to be like, well, winter does go into next year, of course. I think Tam's right. Early next year is because this is a much bigger game. They will still be coming off of Final Fantasy 16 from the summer. And I think the early period in a year now has been proven to be a time when a game can really, really pop off. And December is still a little bit of that you missed the Black Friday, and people are going to be getting gift cards, but they're going to be getting gift cards after Christmas. Maybe you just put the game out then instead. I think that's actually what will happen.
Japan actually has anime winter. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but anime winter is the anime winter season is January, February, and March. So they could be using anime winter, you know? They could be thinking about anime winter.
Anime winter, very similar to a nuclear winter, is my understanding. That's
I cannot believe you said that.
That's going to just have to be
Grubb.
It's going to
be
There's no surviving the anime winter. Is all I really know deep down.
It's so harsh. It's like it's the same conditions that the Stalker series is saying.
Yes, exactly. The only thing that will survive is cockroaches and anime fans. Same thing, really. Yeah. All right, moving on. MetaQuest 3 launches this fall at $500. This comes from Brendan Sinclair at GamesIndustry.biz. Meta today announced its MetaQuest 3 headset along with a fall release window. The base model of Meta's newest standalone VR headset will start at $500, $690 in Canada, with the company promising it will be 40% thinner with better displays, higher resolution, and high-res color, which isn't a thing. It will also feature a next-gen Qualcomm Snapdragon chipset that Meta is touting as having double the graphics performance of the Quest 2, as well as new Touch Plus controllers with haptic functionality. Meta has confirmed Quest 3 will be compatible with the entire Quest 2 library of titles. More details of the headset are expected to be announced September 27th during Meta's Connect conference. Damn.
If you have a dating profile and you don't have Touch Plus with haptic feedback written as one of your pluses, you are severely missing out. Get on that. Get that.
It feels very adjacent to teledildonics. It feels like they're right there, willing to embrace what this is truly going to turn into eventually. But they're not.
I hope
quite. They got their dipping their toes in.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a MetaQuest interview just so I can say the question: are you inspired by teledildonics for this?
And if they say no, you say grow up and walk out.
Yeah, then I leave. I leave. And they're like, oh, one question, is that it?
Yes, that's it. Of course, that's it. That's all that matters. Yeah, I don't know. How you feeling about this thing? You gonna? Because I know last time we talked about VR, you were just not caring. How are you feeling about this?
I have a Quest 2, and I think the Quest 2 is a fantastic device.
I like mine a lot too.
What I would say is, Meta is still the shittest name for a company I've heard in a long time.
It's real bad.
It is fucking hilariously awful. If Meta was a person, I would ruthlessly bully that person.
I would give them a wedgie, 100%.
Yeah, I would give them wedgie swirlies and feed them circular tortilla chips and call it nachos. That is what I'd be doing.
The best thing about the circular nachos is that the scoops are right there. Are you aware of the Tostitos scoops?
Yeah, I've seen the scoops.
Yeah, the bowl-shaped chip. That's like, if you're gonna like mutate a chip, you go all the way into like making it a perfect thing for scooping. Of course, yeah. The circular ones are just bullshit.
I think the Quest 3 is. I hope it's a on par with the Quest 2 device. Like I feel like the Quest 2 is one of the more comfortable VR headsets. The thing that I've always had an issue with Quest 2 is like the compatibility with certain things. Like it doesn't very easily work with like Half-Life Alyx, for example.
Sure.
You have to like jump through a bunch of hoops to get that to work. So I don't know if that's an access thing or like services talking to each other. You can make it work. It just takes a lot of time and effort.
I bet the Quest 3, I bet one of the big things with it is let's improve all that stuff so it just works more naturally with when you plug it into a PC, I bet.
Yeah, so I hope that is the case because there are some great like VR experience. It's weird because I like my Quest 2, but I also haven't used my Quest 2 as much as I would want to use my Quest 2.
Yeah, we just got it out again the other day for the first time in a while. It took a long time to get the battery charged up because we just we moved and we hadn't really used it since we moved, and that was like almost a year ago. And it's like, but the kids still love going in there, and then when they get excited about it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's fun stuff to do in here. Look at all these new things that I can get. Yeah. So I still enjoy it.
The sound of a VR headset that is thinner and like more powerful, higher resolution display, higher res color. You're not tricking anyone with that. Okay, you just stop making shit up and saying this is a thing. High res color. What does that mean? Shut up.
Doesn't mean anything.
As an entry point VR headset, I still think the Quest. I always recommended the Quest 2. I don't know if this is. I think the Quest 2 did it launch at what was its launch price? I don't think it was $500.
No, I think there was.
It was like $350 or $400.
Yeah, was it $350 and $450 for the various storage options? I think something like that.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, obviously, this is a little more pricey, but I still think that it could be a good entry point for VR, especially since it's a standalone VR headset. And it's got all these extra like new bells and whistles that make it a little more powerful and kind of compete with modern technology. Am I going to buy one? Probably not. The only situation I see myself buying one is if I suddenly start using my Quest 2 way more, and then I'm like, I use this enough that it's almost habitual, and now I can upgrade to the Quest 3 kind of guilt-free, knowing that I will use it a bunch. I think I'm going to try and use my Quest 2 a bit more because I should have some more space to move around and stuff soon. So yeah, good entry point. It feels like an incremental update, but an incremental update to one of the most recommendable VR headsets on the market right now.
Yeah, I think I like the stuff that they are improving is exactly what I want them to improve. Make it thinner, make it lighter. Hopefully, it's more comfortable. Hopefully, it works better with PCs. I hope like the wireless chip is state of the art, so that when you do the wireless connection to the PC, that works really well as well. I mean, all that stuff sounds great to me. Let's go. You're right. That's the one that's easy to recommend to just about anybody because it's just gonna work. And getting back into Quest 2 the other day, like a couple weeks ago, it was this experience is mostly pretty good. It's actually kind of cool to just go in here and find the games and find the apps and go to YouTube VR and watch the 360 videos and things like that. So yeah, it's I've been pretty happy with it, and I think that I'm ready for them to keep improving on it. And I think they're doing it at like the right pace. We had several years with the Quest 2. Quest 2 got that price bump, and then they released this at $500. That is like better than I was expecting when they increased the price of the Quest 2. Like, because it's like they could. The next one, like they might be setting us up to go $600, and it's like, well, PSVR 2 is $550, and this thing's $400 or $500. That's okay, kind of impressive actually in today's economic situation for these things.
And as an entry point, if you're like looking at entry into VR and you're starting from scratch, and you look at PSVR 2, you go like, all right, I got to pay $500 for this for this VR headset, and then 500 for a console, which is like, oh, okay.
Yep.
And this not really an entry point, is it?
No. Turbo Sean mentioned, okay, Quest 2 launched at $299 and $399. Then it went up to $100. That was the price increase, yes. And now it's back down $100. They did, as part of this, announce that they cut the price back down, which thanks for the deal of selling it to us for the price that we already could have got it at before.
Imagine you're one of those people who bought it between it price going up and then coming down again.
Yeah, it's always frustrating.
Furious. I would be sending all caps emails to Zuckerberg and being like, you Zuckerberg, dude.
I'm sending those anyhow.
Zuckerberg, dude.
Quest 2 also got a pretty good update, though. They've improved performance dramatically is how they are framing it for this. So I don't know how. I didn't look into it. I was kind of like, Quest 3 is the news here, but I guess, I'll go try out the Quest 2 and see how it is improved. But that's cool to hear. I'll go hands-on with it. Maybe we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, I'm looking to see online if anyone's detailed the update.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I think this is just okay in the style of DLSS. It's an upscaler. Thank you, Heiji.
Okay,
that makes sense because it's like everyone's got their own one of those now. Like Intel's got their own.
Yeah.
I think Insomniac built their own for some of their games and. Yeah.
Meta says it was increased the CPU performance of the Quest 2 and Quest Pro up by 26% and increased the GPU performance of the Quest 2 by 19%. And
yeah, so it's like these image re-establishment things. I can't remember the exact word, but
developers will have to configure their apps to make the most of the changes.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. So basically, more powerful, but devs will need to go in and actually.
Okay, so it's going to be when it gets the support. At least out of the box for anything coming forward. I'm sure every game will just use that on the Quest 3, and that stuff will be backported to Quest 2, so it should just work that way. Most games coming out should still work on Quest 2, so this is not like completely replacing the Quest 2 yet.
What's the best game you can get on the Quest right now? Is it still plug your Quest 2 in and play Alex, or is it?
It's like the biggest, most robust game. That's probably still the case. For me, I like the experience of being in a room with objects, and that I was going to make a crude joke. I like being in a room with objects.
Teledildonics?
With teledildonics, yes. I like the table tennis games. I think it's like Tennis 11 or something like that. And that feels good because the physics feel really nice, but you're also just kind of moving around this small space, usually with another real human player, and you can wave and all that stuff. And it's a cool experience. So for me, that's like the top tier stuff. But yeah,
I've got that hacked Beat Saber, where I can just download any music. And let me tell you, I am Beat Sabering to all the anime opening and ending themes. And it is a waking nightmare because that shit is not easy. You know what the problem with that is? It sounds really great, but the people who make those custom songs are the biggest freaks. Perverts.
Yes,
they are insane human beings, and they're like, "Oh, you want to play Wind from Naruto?" Never. You have to basically be like General Grievous to move the fucking. That is crazy. I'm just like, I just want to play this, man. And they're like, no, it's just for perverts only.
I know exactly what you mean. It bums me out because in the early days of VR, it was a lawless hellscape, and I loved it. Audio Shield, which was kind of like Beat Saber before Beat Saber, and I loved Audio Shield. It basically just had, here's a YouTube search for anything, and we'll just algorithmically build the note highway for you, and it worked great. And I could play any bullshit song I wanted, and it ruled. And it was like on a whim. We could be like, everyone could just be on a computer typing it in for someone in VR, and it worked great. And then they took that out at some point, I'm sure, because like YouTube's like, you can't do that, or the RMCA or whatever.
Remember Audio Surf?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's exactly. Audio Shield was very similar to that.
Yeah, stick that in VR. That was a banger. I remember me and Danny O'Dwyer got obsessed with Audio Surf for a really long time.
Thumper is pretty similar to that, and that's the one that is in VR.
But Thumper's very stressful.
Yes, exactly. Thumper's like trying to hurt you. Yes.
Yeah. Thumper has got like the air of a serial killer in a movie about to stab someone.
This was made by. Why does it say it was made by the CIA? It's like, okay, weird. All right, let's move on here.
Say special thanks to Vladimir Putin on this. It's very strange.
For your contributions to torture. Like, why is that important? Oh, okay. other things kind of announced from this show from Meta. Assassin's Creed Nexus is confirmed for release later in 2023. This comes from Darren Bonthus at GameSpot. During the MetaQuest gaming showcase, Ubisoft announced that its upcoming Assassin's Creed VR game, Assassin's Creed Nexus, will be coming to the MetaQuest 3 and 2 this year. Beyond that, Ubisoft says that fans will have to wait until the Ubisoft Forward event on June 12th to get more details on the game and how it'll use virtual reality to deliver a more immersive entry in the series. Assassin's Creed Nexus was first announced at the 2020 Oculus 2 event alongside a Splinter Cell VR game. At that time, Ubisoft VP of Product Development, Elizabeth Leverso, announced that both games were being built from the ground up for virtual reality and would include elements of the franchises that players are familiar with. Splinter Cell VR was canceled last year, though. Assassin's Creed Nexus VR coming to MetaQuest. I mean, I'll say this. I am not very excited about this. I'm more excited about this than just about anything announced for PSVR 2. That's where I'm at. How about you?
I mean, I don't... Have we seen much of Assassin's Creed Nexus?
I don't think we have. We're going to on Monday, I guess, or next Monday.
Yeah, I assume so. Like right now, I'm struggling to get excited about a thing I know nothing about. You know.
Yep.
It is isn't Nexus the one where they're like, hey, we create a portal for all of Assassin's Creed games?
Yes. So do not blame you at all. Their naming is not great. That's Assassin's Creed Infinity, which. The reason you didn't think that is because how could another game developer name their game Infinity? Why? Just stop it. But yeah.
But also, Nexus is literally the term you'd use for like a hub of things. Like, what are you doing, you
That's what dummies. The word Nexus means.
Oh, God.
They're not good at this. They're not.
Yeah, Ubisoft is not good at naming things.
No.
They named a piece of non-existent software Skull and Bones, which is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? They're like, we're going to put out something called Skull and Bones.
They're like improved name after the pandemic happened and they couldn't call Rainbow Six Contagion or whatever it was. They had to change the name. It was like Rainbow Six Extraction, I guess. It's like, man, that's just a bunch of words that doesn't mean anything. Whatever, though.
Yeah. Where is Splinter Cell Remake? That's all I care about.
Yeah,
if you've got Ubisoft comes to me and they're like, we've got Assassin's Creed for VR, I don't give a shit. Yeah, where's that Splinter Cell game? Tell me about things I care about, not another VR bollocks. All right.
Do you even think it? Like, I don't think we even get Splinter Cell VR at this show. I really hope we do, but it's like
they canceled it, right? And they're like done.
Or not? Did I say VR? I meant the Splinter Cell remake. Splinter Cell remake.
If they don't show Splinter Cell remake, like, give me something. If they do not show that game, even a slice of it, I am attacking the first Frenchman I see.
Send this pain to Yves. Oh, hell yeah. I love
Tell Yves I said I'm coming.
Which Yves? I know so many. I'm French. Yeah, okay. Sorry, everybody. I know you don't like when I do my French accent. Classic CD-ROM game, The Seventh Guest, is getting a VR remake. This comes from Darren Bonthus at GameSpot. One of the spookiest CD-ROM games of the 90s,
oh my God.
The Seventh Guest, is getting a new lease on the afterlife with a remake for virtual reality devices. Well done, Darren. Announced at the MetaQuest Gaming Showcase this new version of The Seventh Guest from publisher Vertigo Games and co-developers Vertigo Studios Rotterdam and X-Key. Uses volumetric video capture to recreate the full motion video storytelling of the original game. I don't know what that means. Which takes place in a haunted mansion that's populated by other spirits. The end result is a surprisingly eerie game that mixes more dynamic environments in VR with head-scratching puzzles and VR-powered optical illusions.
Here's the thing, right? I played Seventh Guest a lot when I was a kid. And when they say head scratching, what they mean is completely nonsensical.
Yes,
it is from the era where, like, almost like the equivalent is the like the Tim Schafer, Ron Gilbert puzzle games, where it's like combine this thing with this thing, and suddenly you have this thing, and no one in their right mind would think about it.
Yeah,
it's one of them games where it's like, I had no chance of doing that. And you know what? They were fun at the time. This is also one of those games that has got like the energy of a someone in a slasher flick the moment before they're about to die. It's like very unsettling. It's got like I think this is because it's this one. It's like Seventh Guest, and there's another one as well. I forgot the name.
Yeah, was there a follow up?
Yeah, there was like it's not 12th Night or it's something like that. It's another very similar
11th Hour says Rockbuster.
11th Hour, that's the one. And I don't know which one has the really creepy like narrator the entire time who's like He reminds me of like Tales from the Crypt energy narrator, and I'm glad to see this is coming back.
I'm too. It's surprising that they're doing all this, but I think it's a good fit.
Yeah, I think VR is a great fit. I think people who play it are gonna have, unless they like, if they have the same logic, it's gonna be quite a time for them. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck? How was I supposed to get that?"
I hope that they improve, because I don't like that kind of non sequitur puzzle logic. That's not for me. So
yeah, I don't get it.
All right, Street Fighter VI is breaking Steam records on launch day. This comes from Chris Moyes at Destructoid. Capcom's Street Fighter VI might have only just launched this morning, but it is already breaking Steam records, instantly setting the bar for the most consecutive players in a premium fighting game on the PC platform. As noted by SteamDB, Street Fighter VI, within the early hours of the morning, hit a high of 65,873 concurrent players. While this doesn't beat out the early day success of free-to-play fighter Multiverses, it does beat out all full-price fighting game releases to date, toppling the previous king, Warner Brothers' Bloodlust Scrapper, Mortal Kombat 11, by just over 30,000 players. I don't think I was expecting that to decisively beat Mortal Kombat 11's debut on Steam. But coming into this game and with the response, and sort of not that response, not just being like, oh, it's a critical darling. Everyone is having that overjoyous response to this game. It's not completely surprising. How are you feeling about it?
No, I think like obviously it makes perfect sense. It is a fantastic game. On top of that, like it's a fantastic game that works on so many different levels. Like if you're a casual player, it's good for you. If you're kind of intermediate where you jump in and out, it's good for you. If you're like a weird freak about it like me, it's the game that keeps giving. I think the question is going to be longevity. I feel like fighting games, most games on Steam, but fighting games in particular, they have a very they burn bright for the initial kind of release period, and then there's a little bit of a fall off. I remember in the past a bunch of fighting games coming out. It's like, oh shit, this fighting game, this Blaze Blue or whatever it may be, it's popping off, and then you come back 2 weeks later and it's like, oh shit, it's got 1,000 people playing it, but they're the craziest 1,000 people that you've ever seen playing. My hope is it remains consistent. The concurrent player list stays high. Street Fighter on PC does have a pretty robust community.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of people that, like even my younger brother, who I grew up with me playing on Street Fighter on consoles, has moved to PC because it's just better there for like connectivity, and also doing things like setting up a Discord and playing Street Fighter while also being on Discord and with your friends and that kind of stuff. And it's a good community there. And also like the mod stuff, etc., etc. So I am optimistic that Street Fighter will maintain a healthy player base. Whether it stays at 65,000 plus, I don't think so. I'd be interested to see what the fall off or like the numbers for Mortal Kombat were, because I feel like that is a good indicator of where it might settle at if it maintains its popularity and interest. But yeah, it's a good start for Street Fighter 6. I fully expect it will like drop quite significantly, but still be much better than 5 or even 4 to a degree, enough that it will be something that Capcom sees as a healthy community on PC at least. Yeah, it's
let's see, Mortal Kombat 11 has about 7,000 people in game right now according to SteamDB. I think settling around 10,000 active players, like a peak of 10,000 players, like by this time next year, that is very good, especially on Steam. So, and I think that's entirely possible, especially if it takes off in a bunch of different markets, which it seems like it's poised to do.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a banger of a game, man.
Yeah, I just spent a very tiny bit of time with it, and it's like this. I'm gonna make a lot of time for it this weekend, where I'm gonna try to pick my character. That's my first plan. So we'll see. All right. Hi-Fi Rush seems like it's getting more content. This comes from Jonas Maki at Game Reactor. Hi-Fi Rush was stealthily released earlier this year during an Xbox showcase and quickly became a huge hit with over 2 million players and raving reviews. Since then, we haven't heard much about its future, although it has been improved with quality of life updates, a photo mode, and some other things. Fortunately, it seems like Tango Gameworks and Bethesda are planning on doing something more with the game, as noted by the proven insider Dusk Golem on Twitter. No less than 7 achievements have been added to SteamDB, which are all secret. Incidentally, Hi-Fi Rush also has a pretty generous discount on Steam right now. just before the Summer Game Fest and Xbox Game Showcase. All things added, it does seem like Bethesda is planning some kind of content update, or perhaps even a full-fledged expansion update to Hi-Fi Rush pretty soon. What do you think? You think that's going to be like a whole new campaign in there, or what?
First of all, I think it's brave of you to once again say the words Hi-Fi Rush after what happened.
Look, you're right. I'm not happy about it.
Hi-Fi Rush's name out of your
noted Hi-Fi Rush hater. That's right.
I'm glad that it's getting more content. And obviously, like it's good to see that Bethesda is recognizing that this game that they took a chance on and did reasonably well, you know, by a variety of metrics. Is getting some support. It gives me hope that, you know, they're not just fixated on the, you know, the major releases, the AAA games when it comes to like forward planning and content and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I never finished Hi-Fi Rush. This might be a good opportunity for me to go back and play. And I enjoyed everything I played at Hi-Fi Rush. I think other stuff just came along and kind of like swept me away. And I've been like just looking for an excuse to go back. So maybe this will be it. Yeah, good.
Yeah, and I think it's totally the kind of thing that could show up at the showcase. That sort of thinking lines up right, especially with those. And also probably shadow dropped during the showcase based on the fact that those achievements have already been added to the game.
Yeah, shadow dropped would be a pretty weird. It will be, in the grand scheme of things, it will probably be something small within the overall showcase. But shadow dropping it kind of elevates it to be something bigger. Yeah, and it makes the whole showcase feel a lot more impactful,
right? Like it was worth watching because, like, I watched and I can, as soon as I'm done, there's all this to talk about and think about, but I just go play a game right now. You're right.
Publishers, the kind of cheat code for making your showcase feel at least more impactful than it might happen to be is shadow dropping. If you shadow drop anything half decent on the day that you've got a okay showcase, people are going to remember it as a much better showcase than it was.
Agreed. All right, last handful of stories here. Marvel's Spider-Man 2's map is twice the size of the original game. This is from Alex Hopley at Game Reactor. I exactly wanted to ask you about this. Brian Intar, the creative director for Marvel's Spider-Man 2, recently revealed that the map size for the upcoming sequel will be twice the size of that of the original game. Tam, is this what you want from a game like this?
Here's the thing. In any other game, I would be very like, oh God, I'm exhausted already just thinking about it. In Spider-Man, a game that size, you're just covering that map in like 2 minutes anyway. Yeah. So like you're just swinging from one side to like it has such a crazy, like the speed of movement around Spider-Man is so fast that a exponential increase in the space doesn't really have a major kind of downside or impact to me. If it was Assassin's Creed and it was like your bitch ass is running from one side of fucking Egypt to another side, but we made Egypt twice as big, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. Please.
We must shrink the size of Egypt. You heard Tam, everybody. I think I'm mostly with you. The twice the size, it's like, okay, maybe that actually is a bit too big. I would have taken like 50% more, but whatever. You're right. And it does seem like this game is adding enough new mobility options. Like we saw Miles Morales have the underarm wings, and that's going to help you get around places like Queens and Brooklyn that don't have the skyscrapers. So it's like you'll still be able to swing because you could swing on trees through like Central Park in that game. But it's like, it's not quite the same when you don't have the skyscrapers to swing from. So you'll have these other options, and it'll still be just as fun to get around because it's Insomniac, and of course it will be. So, yeah, go for it. And really, what other option? I guess the other option is they could have taken it to a different city, but it's Spider-Man. He's kind of got to be in New York.
You can't take him to another city. Yeah. No, you just flesh it out. It does make sense. And I forgot the whole squirrel suit thing. Like that is a good point. You are going to need to push the boundaries out if you're letting Miles basically fly, which is effectively what he can do when he busts out the squirrel suit. Like, original Spider-Man used to have that as well. And
that's right. Yeah,
it's like flying everywhere. So yeah, it makes sense.
Spider-Man 2 Des Moines, says Sevward. Yeah, go to Des Moines.
Spider-Man 2 London. Let's go.
All right. EA Sports has partnered with Nike's new NFT platform. Let's fucking
Oh
go.
my
From Tom the
God.
Machine Ivan at VGC, Nike has struck a deal with Electronic Arts that paves the way for the introduction of NFTs to the publisher's sports games. The deal will see, quote, virtual creations from Nike's .swoosh Web3 platform integrated into future EA Sports games, according to a press release from the sportswear giant. This is a quote. Nike's new partnership with EA Sports will look to build new immersive experiences and unlock brand new levels of customization within the EA Sports ecosystem. Tam, how are they still doing this?
Fuck yeah. Who is into this? Like, it actually kind of makes sense because EA Sports.
I don't think they could hear that, but I'm sure that just destroyed your ears. Sorry.
That was a swoosh.
That was definitely a swoosh. My bad.
It kind of makes sense because this is going to sound quite rude, and I don't mean it to be. If you are offended by this, chances are I am talking about you, and you should be offended. But like, EA Sports has a set of games that appeal to the broadest market, right? And in that market, there's a subset of people that I would describe as douches, like. Yeah, everyone, a lot of kind of people love sports games. Like I play a bunch of sports games here and there. I got a lot of my friends, and a lot of people are good. But you also have a subset of sports gamers that are fuckboys and douches.
Absolutely.
The exact kind of people, the bros, the exact kind of people who are on Twitter right now evangelizing NFTs and Bitcoin and blockchain. And so if EA is out there like looking, someone walks up with a paper and a pad and is like, I just want to let you know that I've crunched all the numbers and I've kind of created a demographic of who plays our game, and there's a significant chunk of people that play these games that I would describe as pricks. Then someone else is going, well, I've been looking at NFTs and it seems like they're being
made for
purchased
pricks
by a bunch of people that I would describe as pricks.
Yeah.
So maybe we should, figure this out. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you like if you are like looking at something like that, it's so fucking stupid. Chances are like you don't need to engage with.
Yeah.
I've reached the point where I'm like, NFTs, good for you. If you're as long as you sit in the corner and be a freak over there and stay away from me, I'm happy I'm fine. Do whatever you want. Like, I don't care. But if EA is suddenly like shoving it in my face and they're like, oh, you can, the new game is only NFT based, I'll be like, die a slow death.
Yeah, I mean, I think you diagnosed it perfectly, because it's like loot boxes, I think, occupy the same space, a similar space as NFTs, and we rejected that, and it's out of our initial, our nearest orbit. But you go one orbit over to the sports games. So, well, of course they're still in there. That audience doesn't. Well, either they don't care or they can't help themselves. And it's like a mixture of both. Maybe they hate it, but they're still playing, and many of them are probably still buying them because those games make a lot of money from those loot boxes.
EA Sports and people like that are into NFTs is they're the kind of people that wear backwards hats and you know what I'm saying.
No, you mean those real chodes? Okay, yeah. Ubisoft Forward announcement trailer teases a mystery game. This comes from Jason Finelli at GameSpot. The game announcement season is in full swing. PlayStation and Xbox and Summer Game Fest. Oh my. Okay, hey, you've got to tell Jason Finelli he's not allowed to do that. He can't make that the Tigers and Bears oh my thing. And Ubisoft is gearing up for its next Ubisoft Forward presentation on June 12th. The publisher released a brief teaser for the event today, and it seems a new mystery game will be among the reveals. The video shows a group of people checking out scenes from the previous Ubisoft press conferences, with everything from Just Dance groups to the infamous Mr. Caffeine flashing on the screen.
I just want to point out, like, this teaser is awful.
Yeah, it feels like
it's genuinely terrible.
It feels like a commercial made by like a local group for like a circus you've never heard of. Like,
it is so bad.
It's really weird.
If you are anyone at Ubisoft watching this, I'm sorry, but like, it sucks, and I was laughing my way through it. I was like,
I'll bring it up here in a second.
It's not a good start for you. Like, I'm sure you've got some bangers to reveal and like a bunch of cool games, but whoever made this needs to be put in a room and had a stern talking to. Is like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah,
are you trying to make us look bad?
All right, I think I got it.
It's got a like, it's trying to be cool, but the people who clearly made this don't know what makes a thing cool. So it's just like you watch it and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, and it's like, were you watching Win? And then it's a bunch of scenes of like all the Ubisoft conferences that we made fun of, including Mr. Caffeine.
It's just a reminder of every L Ubisoft has taken.
I think it's like, I'm glad they like, it would have been worse if they pretended that Mr. Caffeine never happened, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
I guess so, yeah.
I don't know. Actually, it's hard to say. But this trailer for the event does talk about Assassin's Creed Mirage, the Crew Motorfest. And then it kind of goes to this thing here. And she goes, wait, what's that game? And it's a cape or a tarp with like what looks like a metallic finish on it. And it's kind of a dithered metallic finish to it. And she says, yeah, what's that game? Tam, do you have any guesses about what that game is? People are saying
Star Wars.
Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
like,
probably, yeah.
It's probably Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're all saying Star Wars. It's going to be like the Division Mobile or something.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I think it's probably...
It's got to be Star Wars.
Like, yes, I'm hopeful that it's Star Wars. I think that'd be pretty cool. Cannabis says Prince of Persia. Maybe. I think they might talk about that game, but they just said it's like back in conception phase. So, and I don't know if they would tease it like this, because that's the one where they seem bashful about that game now. So I don't know if they'd be like, oh, we're pulling up our pants, getting ready to go. Look out for us. We got a game that's going to shock you.
Here's what my brain says. Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ask me what my heart says.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Tam, what is your heart saying?
Splinter Cell.
That would be very cool. That would be very cool. The right thing to do with Splinter Cell is do that remake and put out a free-to-play version of Chaos Theory, whatever the multiplayer mode was. Mercs versus Spies.
I think it would be very cool if it was Splinter Cell, and if this trailer proves anything, it is that Ubisoft will do the least cool thing at every given opportunity. So,
so it's not Splinter Cell.
It's going to be like the Crew DLC.
Totally. All right. Let's see here. I'll get the poll up from yesterday. That's around here somewhere. There we go. I asked, do you keep your boxes or throw them away? 63% say you keep, 37% throw away. What are y'all doing with those boxes? Come on. Tam, do you have a PS5 box in your house right now?
Yes, I do. I have one. I have two PS5s. I've got one box.
What is the condition of the box?
It is in perfect condition.
Okay. All right. I think that's the one acceptable situation. If it's in perfect condition.
Here's the thing. You should throw your boxes away if you own a house.
Yes, that's exactly
because chances are you're not moving.
Yes.
And if you are moving, it's going to be a significant thing. However, if you're like me, where you're living in apartments, there's a decent chance year to year you're moving. And although you can like buy a standard box and kind of like chuck it in there, I just feel safer putting the console back in the box that it came in with all the kind of like foam and stuff that keeps it locked in place. And that's why I keep some of my boxes. I still have my Xbox box and my PS5 box, and I used it to move once. And it was like, I felt much safer with all that kind of stuff. The smaller boxes I throw away. Like if I buy a capture card, I'm not keeping that box. I'm chucking that away. If I buy like, I don't know, some small piece of technology, like a HDMI cable or whatever, and it comes in a box, I'm throwing that box away. Like the smaller boxes are fine. If it's a big ticket item as well, like I'm not keeping a TV box because TV boxes are way too big. But if it's like a mid-sized piece of hardware that you feel like you might move at some point, I'll keep the box. I've got my Xbox box. I got my PS5 box. I don't have my like Switch boxes anymore because I feel like that's small enough that I can carry. I threw away my Steam Deck box. It was fine.
Yeah, I think what you said, when I got a house, not going to be moving. It was a little tough because I do like looking at the boxes. When I see them, it gives me a little shot of dopamine. It's like, look at all that cool stuff that like they promised on that box. That's really neat. And then it makes me want to go play with the thing, whatever it is. But I did realize it's like, and you know, that diminishes over time. It gets a little bit harder to get excited about that. And then it's also, I'm not actually going to put these things back in the box. Not anymore. So I got rid of them, and I've been much happier about it. So,
Grubb, your daughter is having a gaming related.
Oh yeah, okay, all right, kiddo, come here. Let's get going.
I have been exactly where she is right now, where she just wants to play the game, and the game will not work. And it is.
Give it here.
This is 100% good, true gamer behavior.
Patty, I don't think it's settled in the dock right. Do you want to go back there and look and see if you could kind of jam it in there a little bit better? Okay, well, I could help you in a second. I'm almost done with my show.
I love this. This is wonderful.
Come here.
It's just wonderful.
I can hear it back there, and so that means it's not plugged into the TV right. Okay, we'll get it. You got to jiggle it, but I'll help you in a second. Okay, we got to come up with a new poll, and we also got to calm down this baby. There you go. Child. There you go, little gamer. You get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Will you buy? Yeah, that poll is good.
Yeah. Which VR headset are you more excited about? PSVR 2 or MetaQuest 3? We will throw that up on the YouTube community page. You could vote for that, and we'll get to it on Monday on giantbomb.com. Speaking of which, Tam, what do we have going on? What do you have going on as well?
Today is UPF, I believe. Is it Diablo?
Yeah, Diablo. The other thing didn't work out, so we're doing Diablo today. Although, if anyone knows what I need to do, I'm stuck at the installation. It's saying start install, 84 gigabytes required. High resolution assets is checked. The start install button will not glow. It will not let me actually click it, no matter what I do.
Have you tried like closing it?
I tried closing it. I tried to I might go in there to see if there's like files from the previous version that are like interfering with it.
Yeah, that might be something. I uninstalled the
I ran as admin
version. Yeah. I uninstalled the pre-release version and then reinstalled everything, and it worked. It might also be pinging the server.
Battle.net has been very slow this morning, so I was like kind of waiting. It took a while for it to even get to this page, but I've been on this page this entire show now, and it hasn't.
If that doesn't work, try uninstalling it, reinstalling it, but not using the high-res assets.
Yes, okay. Happens. Yeah, we'll try a whole bunch of stuff. We'll get it working. At the very least, we'll have some people playing Diablo 4. I know that Mike's ready to go, so maybe he can sit in for me if I can't get it working.
So that's today, and then next week, I don't know if we've communicated. I don't know if we know ourselves what the plan is going to be like, but obviously we're going to start going down to LA for Summer Games Fest stuff. So there will be some. We're going to do our utmost to make sure the content that you expect to come out will come out on time.
Yes.
If things start shifting and unexpectedly moving around or not happening, please keep in mind that we are working on Summer Games Fest. We're also working on the night show, where like Grubb has been putting on a crazy amount of work into
your help.
scheduling stuff together. We've got an amazing crew of people coming through for those nights that we do in the night show. Please be excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if we miss something here and there, just remember that we'll have a night show. And we're going to make it fun. Yep. Yeah, and like GameSpot is doing pre-show, post-show stuff, and then Giant Bomb's going to roll into the night show stuff and talkovers, and then we'll have like preview stuff going up on both websites, and it'll be a good time.
It's gonna be good. We will have a Game Mess mornings on Monday. I got Lexi coming in. We're gonna talk about stuff. Then it will be no more Game Mess mornings for the rest of the week. We will instead just be hanging out at Summer Game Fest, getting that coverage for you, and then coming to the night shows, ready to talk about a lot of the stuff that we're able to talk about, and anything else we'll get to later on Bombcast and things like that. But yeah, we'll figure out Bombcaster next week. We'll figure out all those things. Yeah. And we'll try to do a. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and we're also trying to make like content that will come out after the show there. Like we're gonna do our best to do a couple more travel logs.
Yes.
We're all gonna be in the same place at the same time, so we'll try and do some other fun stuff as well. So the hope is post the show we'll also have a few more things for you guys to enjoy.
Yep. We're gonna do some fun stuff. Maybe we go down to San Diego and meet that magician that me, Dan, and Jan met that we want to introduce to everybody. What Jan, what was his name? Nick Mercedes? I can't remember. All right. Tam, thank you so much for spending today talking about video games, man. Dreg's Day wasn't too bad this week. I think the short week forced everyone to like have news. Nick Ivory.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jan.
Wait, Jan said, should I bring Jenga? Jan, why is that even a question?
Bring Jenga.
You know the answer to that. Wait, if it's the orange Mario Jenga, no, don't bring that. That sucks.
Yeah, throw that in the trash.
If it's normal Jenga, you bring that.
Are you giving everybody a thumbs down? Is that what you're doing? You're giving the audience a thumbs down? You know what? I give them a thumbs up because you're the best audience in gaming. I don't care what Addy says. Until next time, everybody, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.
He's a man.
Oh, that's a man?
He's a man.
All right, we did it, everybody. Blah, blah, blah.
Wow, did Ali just assume the gender?
Yes, she did. She's really
Cancel,
problematic.
cancel.
Let's cancel her. Yes, canceling you. All right, Kitty, you want to figure this out? Let's let me go plug this thing back in. Actually, no, let's raid and then we'll do that because we gotta figure out this Diablo thing. So, who's
Let's
live?
see, who's streaming right now? Who's streaming at 9 a.m. PT
Exactly.
on a
Some Australian weirdo, probably. Let's see.
You know who's streaming? GameSpot streaming. What
Oh,
are they
hell yeah.
streaming? I have no idea.
That doesn't matter.
DreamHack Dallas main stage. Let's go through. Hey, look, the DreamHack thing is a partnership that we're doing. If you guys could hang around in there for a little while, you know, juice those numbers and
Yeah, and it's
I know
something-
it's Dallas, which is disgusting for a lot of people, but yeah, get in there, see what they're doing.
raid. Let's see. GameSpot. There we go. We had fun when we went out to DreamHack. It's if we do it
Yeah.
again, I think we'll all go out there. It'll be a good
Yeah,
time.
for sure. Yeah. for
Okay,
sure.
that raid is kicking off. Everyone go, just have a good time.
Hang
We'll
out
we'll
for
be
a
back
bit.
on for something. Almost certainly Diablo at the normal time, which is the new normal time of 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. All right, everybody, we're raiding now. Catch you later.